Welcome to today's yoga practice. So happy that you could join me. All you need today is you and your yoga mat. And with that, let's get started. Sitting tall, sitting comfortably. You can go ahead and place a cushion or a yoga block or a rolled up blanket underneath your hips. You want to make sure your hips are higher than your knees if you're sitting with your legs crossed. The goal here is to lengthen through the spine so you don't feel like you're rounding through the lower back or falling backwards. Sitting tall. Rest your hands on your thighs, palms up or palms down, it doesn't matter which. You can have your legs crossed or straight out in front, so long as you're comfortable for your next few breaths and you can focus completely on your breath. Go ahead and close your eyes. Deepen your breath. Really try to slow down here. Begin by slowing down your breath. And as the breath slows down, the rate of speed of the thoughts flowing through your mind also begins to slow down. You begin to come into the present moment, fully aware of how you're feeling, fully aware of your breath. Use your exhalations to soften and release tension. Releasing tension from the hips so that your legs feel heavy and anchored to the earth below. And releasing tension from the shoulders so your arms feel heavy, hands resting heavily on your thighs. And let the sensation of heaviness kind of envelop all over you. Feel your whole body calm down. With your next breath in, sweep your arms up. Bring your hands together overhead, and as you exhale, let your hands float down, palm pressing to palm. Another breath in, sweeping the arms out and up, hands coming together, exhaling, hands floating down. Let's do that for 2 more breaths. Move your arms with your breath. Coordinate body and breath. Do this for 4 complete breaths, and we'll meet up together, hands in front of heart center, palms pressing together. Take a moment here just to reconnect to the feeling of heaviness in the legs, softness of the hips and shoulders, and then zone into the spot where you have palm pressing against palm. Fingertip pressing into fingertip. Release your hands. Open your eyes and come into table pose on your hands and knees. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Curl your toes under for stability. Draw your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Now pull the belly button in just slightly to reduce the amount of sway in the lower back. I want you to feel like you've got this long, flat back. So extend your tailbone to the wall behind you and reach the crown of the head to the wall in front of you. Just extending the length of your spine completely. Now keep that. Take a breath. And as you exhale, hold the shape of your spine as you just gently press your hips back towards your heels until you feel a stretch into the soles of your feet. You can use your hands to push into the mat a little bit more. That's up to you. That's the control of the level of intensity in the soles of the feet. Now come up. Uncurl your toes. Let the tops of your feet rest on the mat. And now push farther back. Now getting a little deeper into the range of motion of the knees and the hips. Going slowly, carefully, listening to every message your body sends you. Bring yourself back up to table. Curl the toes under. Now press back. Hips pressing back to heels until you feel the stretch into the soles of the feet. You can feel the pressure on the toes. And coming up, maintaining the shape of the spine, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. And sitting back, hips to heels. Long spine. Now bring yourself up to table. This time, widen your knees, bring your big toes into touch. Bringing the knees wide will give you the ability, a little more room here, to sink deeper towards your heels. Now creep your hands as far forward in the mat as possible. Spread your fingers, plant your hands, get a good connection between the hands and the mat, and then sink down onto the forearms and elbows. Come as low as you can. Relax your neck. Let your head come down. Maybe it comes to the mat, maybe it doesn't. Just relax. Let your hips feel heavy. Arms heavy. So you can feel the stretch here in the sides of the body. Breathe into the stretch. Feel your breath deepen the stretch. Take one more breath here. And then bring yourself up to table. Bringing the knees in, placing wrists under the shoulders once again. Firm grip on the mat, fingertips pressing down to make sure the full palms connect to the mat. Toes curl under here for stability. Now release the belly. Let the rib cage pop open. So feel the sway in the lower back here. Let's exaggerate the sway. Now inhale, lift the eyes, look forward. Feel the crown of the head beginning to reach up. And as you exhale, round through the back. So scoop the tailbone under, pull the belly button in towards the spine, chin pulls in towards chest, shoulder blades spread wide. Another breath in, lifting the eyes, look forward, tailbone scoops up. Exhale, rounding the spine in the complete opposite direction. Remember to pull the belly button in. Let's do that for 2 more breaths. Take your time with your breath. Remember, keeping the breath slow keeps the body soft and the mind calm. Last time. Neutral table pose. Crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Uncurl your toes, let the tops of your feet rest on the mat. This also helps to take the pressure off your knees. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, sit back towards your right heel. Let your right hip hang off to the side. Now scoop around. Swing round to the left side and come up. Feel the stretch in the left side as you bring yourself all the way up and back to center. Take a breath. And as you exhale, sit back towards the left heel this time. Feel the left hip pushing off to the side, getting a good stretch as you slowly come down, swing around, and pull up on the right side. Let's do that one more time in each direction. So take a good breath in, good sized breath. And as you exhale, sitting back to the right heel, feeling the stretch into the right hip, right side of the rib cage. Swing round over to the left side until your hip is off to the left, and then pull yourself up. A breath in, and exhaling, sitting back to the left side. Swinging round, and pulling up on the right. Now walk your hands towards your knees. So pressing up. Uncurl your toes. Let the tops of your feet rest on the floor. So if you happen to curl your toes under, pause here. Uncurl your toes. Tops of the feet resting on the floor. That takes the pressure off the kneecaps. If you need to, go ahead and place an extra towel or fold your mat over so you have a double thickness of mat underneath your knees. Or actually that would be 3 thicknesses of mat underneath your knees. So just pause here. Now draw your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back, slide them down. Feel your shoulder blades pulling in towards your spine. Now draw the belly button in just slightly, create a little bit of stability and firmness through the core. As you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, left hand sweeps down towards your hip. Place your hand on your hip, and when you feel steady, just reach over with the right hand. Now be careful not to let your right shoulder roll forward. Stay square to the top of your mat so you can see your right arm just in your peripheral vision. Keep the right arm long. Now lift the eyes to look upwards as well. Feel the extra added stretch on the right side of the body. Breathe. Release your left hand, sweep up with your breath in, and as you exhale, release. Coming back to center. From the beginning, here we go, on the other side. Take a breath in, pull your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back, slide them down. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Really lift through the heart as your hands reach up overhead. Exhale, right hand comes to your thigh for support. Once you feel the support of your right hand on your thigh, left hand reaches over. Keeping the left shoulder in line with the right shoulder rather than letting the left shoulder fall forward. Shoulders and hips are square with the top of your mat. You can feel the strength as the belly button pulls in to create some stability, and hold on to the length in the core. Left hand reaches. Now lift the eyes and feel the left side of the body lengthen even more. You can just see your left eye out of your peripheral vision. You're aware that it's there without even having to look directly at it. Now release your right hand, sweep up with your breath in, come back to center. And as you exhale, release the arms. Bring yourself back to table pose. So coming down, walking your hands, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Curl your toes under. Neutral spine. You can feel the crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back, belly button pulling in to reduce the sway in the lower back. Take a breath, and as you exhale, lift to downward dog. Just lift up, push the heels down with the exhalation, and inhale, return to table. Exhale, lift up. Reach the heels down. Inhale, return to table. Exhale, lift up. Stretch in the back of the legs, long sides of the body. One last time. Return to table. And exhale, lift to downward dog. Feel the stretch as the heels reach for the floor, not necessarily connecting with the floor. You can keep a little softness in the back of the knees if your back of your legs feel a little bit tight. Listen to all the messages your body is sending you. Breathe. Now lift your heels, bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Enough of a bend in the knees that your fingertips are grazing the mat. Use the full length of your arms here. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Minimize the bend in the back of the knees, but careful not to straighten them completely. Just feel the length there. Crown of the head reaches forward. Tailbone reaching straight back. So you've got that long, flat back feeling happening once again, even though your shoulders are slightly lower than your hips. If you can't reach the floor, you can place your hands on your knees, on your shins. Exhale, bring your fingertips down to the mat. Step your right foot back. Long lunge step to the back of the mat. Pivot on the ball of your right big toe. Plant your heel. Right toes pointing to the right, left toes pointing forward. Left elbow to your knee, your thigh, right hand to your hip. Now double check on your right foot. Right toes pointing to the right, left toes pointing forward. Press down with the baby toe outer heel of your right foot. Watch your arch lift, but keep the ball of the right big toe connected to the mat. Left knee in line with your ankle. Use your left elbow to keep your left knee in place. Looking down at your left big toe. Take a breath. As you exhale, use your left elbow to anchor your knee and just roll your right shoulder back. Right shoulder stacking over top of left shoulder. Breathe into the space in the upper body, but keep the strength in your left arm, left leg, right leg to stay stable, to maintain the alignment of the lower body, and to help encourage the upper body, right shoulder to open. Now let's go a little bit deeper with your next breath. As you exhale, just turn. You can turn to look to the wall at the right, or if you're feeling steady, bring your gaze upwards to the ceiling. And as you turn your head, your right shoulder pops into your peripheral vision. Maintain the strength and stability with your left elbow, left knee, maintaining the alignment of the left knee over top of the ankle, underneath your left shoulder. Breathe. Now exhale, rotate the head, but keep your right shoulder in place. So bring your eyes back down to your left big toe. Take another breath. And as you exhale, reach the right hand down. Shoulders will come with you. Shoulders square off. Left hand comes down. Pivot onto your right big toe. Now keep high on the ball of the right big toe. If you feel a little unsteady, you can hop your right foot a little bit closer. Just trust your intuition here. If you think it might be too far back, hop it forward just slightly. Now pull forward with the ball of the right big toe. Pull back with the left heel. Getting ready now, feeling the scissoring action of the legs, strong and steady. Sweep your arms out to the side as you lift your rib cage and belly away from your thigh, bringing your arms straight up, wrists over top of shoulders. Noticing again your arms in your peripheral vision. Now the upper body is in place. Let's check in with the lower body. Push down with the ball of the right big toe and lengthen the back of the right knee as much as possible. And as you exhale, sink into your hips slightly. Feel the softening there, balanced with the strength. Now hold on to an object in the distance to help steady you. Now draw the belly button in towards the spine. Strengthen through the core. As the belly button pulls in, feel the curve in the lower spine minimizing. It's still there. It's just a little more subtle. Breathe. Take a breath. As you exhale, sweep your arms around. Bringing your arms to your sides. Now turn your palms back so your thumbs are beside your hips. Shift forward. Push into the ball of the right big toe and just shift the upper body forward until you feel the long line. Now the long line is from your right heel to the crown of your head. Reach your fingers straight down towards your right heel, right ankle. Breathe. Keeping the shoulders broad, shoulders square to the top of the mat. If you feel like you're turning to the left, bring yourself back to center. We got one more breath right here. And then we're going to swing. So much fun to swing. So let's inhale, swing forward, and exhale, swing down. Whew. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fingertips slide back down to the mat. Bend your knees enough now. You can plant your hands fully and completely in preparation. Yep, you got it. Downward dog. Your active recovery here for 3 breaths. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Fingertips on the mat. Minimize the bend in the back of the knees. If your fingertips can't touch the mat, go ahead and bring your hands to your knees or your shins. Lengthen through the spine, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching straight back. Breathe. Bring your fingertips down to the mat. Step your left foot back. Long lunge step towards the back of the mat. Land on the ball of your left big toe. Pivot. Plant your heel. Left toe is pointing to the left. Right toe is pointing forward. Right elbow to your right knee, your right thigh. Left hand to your hip. Look back at your left foot. Confirm that it's 90 degrees in relationship to your right foot. Press down with the baby toe outer heel of your left foot so you can watch your arch lift. Engage the arch. Begin to train those muscles for balance. Ball of the big toe on the left foot still connected to the mat. Looking down at your right foot, your right knee is over top of your right ankle. Put some strength in your right hand, right elbow to maintain the alignment of the right knee. Right shoulder over top of the right knee. Left hand is on your hip. Keeping your gaze down at your right big toe, take a breath. And as you exhale, use the leverage of your elbow on your knee to help you roll open through the left shoulder. Feel really wide across the collarbones here. Keeping the gaze down, opening the front of the body. Feeling the length on the left side and the deep stretch on the right side. Right? Really maximizing the range of motion in the right hip here, the forward leg. Now make the pose a little bit bigger if you choose. Take a breath. And as you exhale, turn to look to the left. If you're feeling steady, strong, go ahead and bring your eyes even higher up. And as your eyes go up, the left shoulder comes into your peripheral vision. You feel the body open even more, a little more strength required for the right knee, right elbow. But you can do it. I know you can. Breathe. Steady yourself with your breath. Now keep the left shoulder open and slowly bring your eyes back down to the mat. So just rotating, turning through the neck, not the rib cage and shoulders. Pause here for a breath. Now the left hand comes down. Then the right. Pivot onto your left big toe. Press down with the ball of the left big toe, pull forward, pull back with the right heel. Feel like your left foot is too far away? Bring it in closer. Totally up to you. Engage the scissoring action in the legs. Right heel pulls back, left big toe pulls forward. Now sweep your arms out to the sides. pull your rib cage and thighs away from your belly. Shoulders over top of hips, wrists over top of shoulders. Push into the mat with the ball of the left big toe. Lengthen the back of the left knee. And as you exhale, sink into your right knee and the hips, keeping your shoulders square to the top of the mat. Keep the back of the left leg as long as you possibly can. Now fix your gaze on your focal point in front of you and tune into your core, your center. Draw the belly button in towards the spine. Feel the curve, the sway in the lower back, minimizing. Feel the strength and control there from within. Breathe. One more breath. Take a breath in. With your exhalation, sweep your arms around. Then turn your palms backwards so your thumbs are pointing in towards your hips. Push down with the ball of the left big toe. Keep the left leg long and just hinge forward with the upper body. Lengthen. Find the long, beautiful line from your left heel to the crown of your head. Crown of the head reaching forward, heel reaching back, fingertips reaching for the left heel. Keep the legs strong, shoulders square to the front of the mat. Now inhale, swing up, and exhale, swing down. Oh. Inhale, step forward, come halfway up, and as you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to downward dog. Three breaths here in downward dog. Now lift your heels, bring your knees all the way down to the mat, coming to table pose. Press into the mat with your left hand, right knee. As you take a breath, sweep your right arm all the way out to the right, biggest breath that you can. Exhale, right arm sweeps under the left side of your body, right shoulder, right ear, come down to the mat. Adjust the placement of your left hand and just sink into your right shoulder. Feel the long stretch on the right side of the rib cage. That spot right behind the shoulder blade that's so tricky to stretch. Relax the right arm. Strength only required here on the left hand, left arm to maintain your balance. Breathe. With your next breath in, lift your shoulder, ear away from the mat, and as you exhale, untwist, coming back to table pose. Always starting out in a neutral position. Press down this time with your right hand and left knee. As you inhale, left hand sweeps out to the left. Really open through the body. And as you exhale, left hand comes under the right side of the body. Left shoulder, left ear come all the way down to the mat. Adjust the placement of your right hand so you can maintain the twist without too much strength. And really relax. Sink into your left shoulder, left ear. Soften into the twist rather than bracing yourself against it. Feel the stretch on the left hip, left side of the rib cage. Use your breath to deepen the stretch. Breathe into the spot where you feel the intensity the most. With your next breath in, lift the left side away from the mat. And as you exhale, untwist. Coming back to table pose. Toes curled under if they aren't already. Long spine, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Take a breath. And as you exhale, lift the downward dog. Take one more breath here, just because it feels good. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Fingertips to the mat, softness behind the knees. Reach the crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Use the full length of your arms. Really extend through the fingertips, so I'm just balancing on my middle finger here, my tallest finger, to really maximize the distance between the floor and my shoulders. Giving my legs as much room as possible to stretch. Taking a breath. Now bend your knees. Bring your hands up onto your thighs one at a time. Push up. Keep the knees soft, coming into a supported chair pose. So I can see my toes. My knees are pointing in the same direction as my toes. My hips are behind my heels. So I've sent my hips back. I can feel my weight in my heels. Now sink into the heel of the hands. Use the arms in your anatomy to pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Now draw the belly button in. Minimize the curve in the lower back. Feel the legs getting a little bit stronger now that you've taken the weight off the hands by engaging through the core. So push a little harder with the soles of the feet and sweep the arms straight out to the side. Just wherever they land, turn the palms forward, thumbs up. If you can, get your arms in line with your shoulders. If they're down by your hips, that's great too. Just opening up through the collarbones. Look beyond the front edge of your mat. Get a sense that your ears are lined up with your shoulders. You can see your arms in your peripheral vision once again. Now draw your shoulder blades in a little bit closer in towards the spine and pull the belly button in a little bit tighter. You need a little more strength to minimize the curve in the lower back and help you balance out the pull in of the shoulder blades in towards the spine. And stay here for one more breath. Now push into the mat, sweep up, all the way up, hands together overhead. And as you exhale, hands floating down, resting right in front of heart center. Let's work from the ground up. Lift your toes, spread them wide. Now with the toes lifted, feel for the weight in the four corners of your feet. Equal balance there, especially the baby toe mound. And then relax the toes. Just let the pads of the toes rest softly on the mat. Let the soles of the feet here do the work. Now draw the belly button in just slightly. Get a sense that your tailbone is reaching down towards the floor, down to the earth, just rooting down like a tree. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back, slide them down. As the shoulders roll back and slide down, pull in just gently with the belly button. Stabilize through your trunk. Palms of the hands pressed together. Now crown of the head reaches up. And as you reach the crown of your head up, feel your whole body lengthen from the soles of the feet all the way to the very top of your head. Pausing. Now shift your weight slightly onto your right foot, right leg. Push down with your right hip all the way down into the sole of the foot and just peel your left heel off the mat. Spread your toes. Keep the ball of the left big toe pressing down. Now actively push with the right foot, right leg. Bend the left knee, just swinging your left knee forward. Keep the palms of the hands pressing together. Now find your focal point in front of you. Hold it there. Hold your gaze there. Toes spread wide on your left foot. Now swing your left knee out to the left and place your left foot on your right leg wherever it happens to land. Press your foot into your leg. Press your leg into your foot. Feel your hips shift. Feel your palms press together. Hold on to your focal point in front. Feel everything holding on. Foot pressing into your leg pressing into your foot. Right leg active, left leg active. Belly button pulling in towards the spine, strong throughout the whole trunk. Rooted to the ground through the sole of your right foot, with the tailbone rooting down. Shoulders square, heart open. Crown of the head reaching up, feeling the full lift and length of your whole body. Now swing. Left knee forward and place the left foot down. Release the hands. Turn the palms of the hands forward. Really open here. Coming into a full mountain pose. Actively push the soles of the feet down into the mat. A little softness in the back of the knees, just a tiny bit so the knees are not locked. Still actively pressing the floors, the soles of the feet into the floor so you can feel your leg muscles grabbing hold of the bones, anchoring you, creating this really firm foundation. Belly button pulls in. Now the tailbone roots down towards the earth. Fronts of the collarbones open. Shoulder blades sliding in towards the spine. Belly button draws in slightly, minimizing the curve in the lower back and creating this real stability around the trunk. Crown of the head reaches up. Breathe. Active mountain pose. Now, if you'd like an extra little challenge here, figure out how stable you do feel, how centered and in your body you feel, go ahead and close your eyes. Keep the soles of the feet actively pressing down. Keep everything that I mentioned. Legs strong, belly button pulling in, tailbone rooting down, shoulders, shoulder blades pulling back. Crown of the head reaching up. This minimizes the sway. Minimizes the inequalities of the relaxed muscles pulling you in one direction or another, or the energy swirling around you, pushing you in one direction or another. Feel how centered you are, how steady, how stable. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Bring your hands together overhead, palms pressing together, hands floating down with the exhalation resting right in front of heart center. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. Focus in on your focal point right in front of you. Feel the legs strong. We've kept all that. We didn't lose it, not even for that single breath. We're so focused. Now shift into your left leg. Spread your toes on your right foot. Peel your right heel off the mat, but keep the ball of the right big toe anchored and grounded for now. Steady yourself. Move one breath at a time. Push down, left hip to the sole of the foot. Feel your hips square off. Feel the right foot get lighter, and when you feel ready, go ahead, bend your right knee forward. Pause. Zone in on your focal point. Feel the belly pull in. Feel strong and steady. Now swing right leg out to the right. Let your right foot land on your left leg wherever it wants to land. Right foot pushes into your left leg. Left leg pushes into your right foot. Hips are square. Belly button drawing in. Shoulders heavy, palms of the hands pressing together. Tailbone rooting down. Strong from the shoulders all the way down to the sole of your left foot. Crown of the head reaches up. Feel the lift, feel the length. Breathe. Find softness balanced with the strength. That's your gift. One more breath. Just swing, right knee forward. Spread your toes on your right foot if you forgot. Plant the right foot down. Equal weight on both feet. Inhale, float the hands up. Bring the gaze up. Separate the hands like you're pointing corner to corner. Eyes floating upwards, now in volcano pose. But working from the ground up is the same as mountain, the same as tree. Soles of the feet press into the mat. You can feel the four corners of your feet grounding down, rooting down. You can feel your leg muscles hugging your bones, creating this stability and strength. Belly button draws in. Tailbone roots down to the earth. Shoulder blades slide down your back. Open through the collarbones. Breath flowing freely, full of energy and vitality. Take one more breath here in volcano pose. With your next exhalation, just sweep the arms down. Bend your knees enough you can plant your hands and step back to downward dog. 3 breaths here in downward dog. Notice how your body is feeling. Hear, listen to all the messages your body is sending you. Lift your heels, bring your knees all the way down to the mat, and take a child's pose. You can go ahead and widen your knees, that's what I like to do, but you take a version of child's pose that suits you in the moment. You want to feel restored here for your next few breaths. We're going to take 3 breaths here in child's pose. Just please make sure that there is support under your forehead. It can be a rolled up towel, a block, your hands, one hand stacked on top of the other, or forehead all the way down to the mat. Just with that little bit of pressure, forehead resting on support, you can really relax the neck and soften the jaw. Let go of the tension through the shoulders and the back of the neck. Press up. Swing your legs round to the top of the mat. So sitting tall once again. If you feel like your lower back is rounded and you're sliding back, or you feel like you're going to fall backwards, go ahead and put some support under your hips. You can sit on your blanket, a yoga block, a pillow, whatever works. It even helps to pull the flesh out from under your sit bones. Pulling your hips out from underneath you can really help you sit tall because you have a better sense of the weight on your sits bones. Shoulders over top of the sits bones, ears over top of the shoulders. Now spread your toes to keep the toes pointing up towards the ceiling and the weight anchored to the back of your heels. A little bit of softness in the back of the knees. Calves are grounded, backs of the thighs are grounded. So sitting tall. Bring your hands to your sides. Now my fingers are pointing towards my heels here. It all depends on how long your arms are and what your body proportions are. If you have a long upper body, you might have to be on your fingertips. If you can, get the heel of your hands down onto the mat. Now roll your shoulders back. Slide them down. Feel your hands connecting a little bit more with the mat. Soften through the elbows. Crown of the head reaching up so you feel really long through the spine. Now shift forward just slightly. Keep the heel of the hand pressing down, pressing down. Keep the heel of the hand pressing down. So we're just trying to stretch out the wrist here and keep the legs strong. Keep that. Just keep reaching with the heels of the hands. Feel the stretch deep into the wrists. And take one more breath. It's quite an intense stretch, so if it's too intense for one breath, just lean back just slightly. Take some of the intensity out of the wrists. Now draw the belly button in. Anchor the heels and even dig the heels in a little bit. As your heels dig in, feel your knees and calves pull slightly away from the mat. Belly button is strong, pulling in lots of strength through the trunk. Now crown of the head reaching up. You can feel the long length of your spine. Tailbone rooting down to the earth. Now inhale, sweep the arms forward. Wrists, arms, upper arms in your peripheral vision again. Creating a long line from your fingertips to your hips this time. Leaning slightly forward so you can really feel the work through the core without compressing the lower back. Feel the rib cage pull in with every breath out and really squeeze the breath out. Maintain some strength for the inhalation, but let your breath flow. Don't hold on so tightly that you're holding your breath. Now shift back. Shifting back, sitting tall, shoulders over top of wrists, wrists over top of shoulders. Create some heaviness with the legs. Reaching with the fingertips, but keeping the shoulders heavy. Digging in with the heels, using the legs, the weight of the legs to give you a little more length through the upper body. Decompressing the spine. Take a breath. And as you exhale, keep the length in the spine, come forward. Bring your fingertips to the mat wherever they land. Now the habit here in a forward fold is to just collapse over the thighs, but we're still going to lengthen. So keep the toes spread wide, weight at the back of the heels. Now soften the back of the heels here, let the legs relax a little bit, feel a little bit heavier. Tailbone rooted down to the earth. Now think of reaching the crown of the head. The crown of the head, you can see better with my left hand, crown of the head reaching up towards the corner. So you come high on your fingertips, use the full support, full length of your arms, and lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. There you go. So your body, your upper body just grew 2 centimeters just by lifting and lengthening, engaging all those bilateral muscles through the core, through the rib cage to lift and support the spine. Use your fingers. Use the heels to press down, legs to anchor you. Breathe. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, just release. Bring yourself all the way up. Bend your knees, toes to the top of the mat, and roll yourself all the way back. Feel free to support yourself by bringing your hands to the backs of your thighs. If you feel like you want to do just one more little core work, core control, just slowly rolling yourself down. Without the support of your hands, just a slow roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way down to the mat. Take a moment here to hug your knees in towards your chest. And gently rock yourself from side to side. Hold on to your right knee, right leg, and stretch your left leg all the way down to the floor. Now bring your right knee towards your armpit. So let go with your left hand and just use your right hand to the back of your thigh to really pull your right knee wide. Left hand comes to the top of your hip. Anchor your left hip and at the same time open out to the right with your right leg. So anchor your left hip. As soon as your left hip starts to pull away from the mat, you know that your right leg has gone as far as it can in the hip socket. That's the maximum range of motion in your right hip. And then come back to center. Reach for your left knee, so both knees in towards your chest. Give them a good squeeze. Shift your hands to your left knee. Stretch your right leg out. Stretch your right leg as long as you can. Really kind of push the sole of your foot towards the top edge of your mat. Now right hand comes to the top of your right hip. Left hand to the back of your left thigh, to the back of your knee. Anchor the right hip in place and just slowly start to work left hip out to the left. As soon as your right hip starts to pull away from the mat, you've reached your range of motion for the left side. Maybe your left foot comes to the floor, maybe it doesn't. Maybe your knee comes to the floor, maybe it doesn't. Don't force it. Just see where you naturally go. You've already got gravity to help you here. Gravity tugging at your left knee and holding your right hip in place. And bring it back to center. Right knee comes up for one more squeeze, one more embrace. And then stretch legs out. Coming into final relaxation. Relax your legs and just feel your legs rolling onto your outer heels and resting there. Arms at your sides. Shoulders heavy. Arms heavy. Hands completely limp. Relax through the hips, lower back. Feel yourself sinking into the support beneath you. Amazing. Soften your jaw. Release the tension from around the eyes and the throat. Just eyes softly closed. Really feel the weight, the heaviness at the back of your skull. Breathing. Checking in with your body, notice how you're feeling. Letting go of control of your breath, but noticing the depth of your breath. Is your breath feeding your whole body? Is your breath helping you soften all the tissues, all the muscles, feeling the full weight of your bones and skeletal structure? Is your breath creating heaviness? Is your breath beginning to slow down? Are you settling into the calm and to the stillness? Not only of the physical body, but of the mind as well. This is the gift of focus. I invite you to stay here in final relaxation for as long as you choose, or you can rise up with me. And slowly begin to bring some movement to your fingers and toes, your hands and feet. arms, and legs. The next breath or two, gently roll onto your right side. Taking a few breaths here also if you choose. If it feels like a good spot to take a moment, follow your body's lead. When you're ready, slowly press up. Sit tall. Hands together in front of the heart. Tailbone rooted down. Crown of the head reaching up. Take a moment to be grateful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. May all beings be at peace. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.